Hello, everyone. Welcome and good morning to this wonderful training this Saturday. Today is 25th of May, and today, as announced earlier, I have already told you that I'm going to do a short training on 15 mind-boggling tips for sales. You know, sales. Everybody wants sales, right? It brings cash. Simple. Sales is a function of a business which fetches direct revenue, and that is why it's so important for you to understand and do sales. Any business, you talk about any business needs money, and that is cash, and cash is can only be brought when you do some kind of a selling, right? So we have Ruchita. Welcome, Ruchita. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
Good. All good. All good.
How are you, sir?
All doing perfectly fine. All doing good. So today the topic of the training is, tips to sales. I was talking about that sales is one of the critical functions of any business. Any business you talk about, if you don't do sales, you'll not get revenue. And if you don't get revenue, nobody can help you in terms of growth. You need money to set up your business. You need money to invest in infrastructure, tools, technology, people, and products, obviously, product and services. So money is one thing which is much required, and money can be generated through sales function, which is, as I said, a part of, and what do you say? you cannot ignore the sales part, right? Because if you don't fetch money in your business, how are you going to survive and grow, right? So that is one of the critical functions, and that is what I'm bringing. See, sales is a big subject. It has been learned and has been taught for years and years and years. And I have been into the sales profession for the last more than 20 years, I would say. Out of my total experience of 24 years, I've been into sales for 22 years. 2 years I was in manufacturing and project management. But rest 22 years I have been into sales. So that experience I carry with me. And again, B2B sales, B2C sales, and different kinds of sales are there. But actually, the core subject, which is sales, is being governed by some psychological facts. That is what I'm going to share today. And I have made simple liner 15 pointers. I'll be explaining in short, I would say, in crisp manner, and which will help you to understand that how you need to be uh, taking sales as a function, as a critical function of the business, right?
Yes.
So we'll start immediately without delaying further. So let me share my screen and I'll be doing it. Okay, so here it is. Is my screen visible, Rachita?
Yes, sir, it is.
Good. So this is what I have brought today. So this image itself is, explanatory that you need to move your button or trigger your button towards sales. Why? Because it fetches direct revenue, as simple as that, money. So what are the things? So before starting, I just wanted to tell you something more, which is people keep on talking about algorithms. People keep talking about different strategies and blah blah. There are so many things. This world is overcrowded with informations, I would say. So what you have to do is you don't have to focus on anything else other than the psychology of sales, right? Which will help you understand how you're going to do sales, how you're going to talk people, and how you are going to focus on the fundamentals. Actually, you don't need to have multiple gadgets. You don't need to have multiple tools and technology. The understanding of psychology needs to be there in your mind so that you can connect your audience, and that is how and why you are going to do sales. And I always say, before diving deep into this matter, I just wanted to ask, like, Ruchita is here. Ruchita, can you tell me
Yes.
what are the factors which you consider when you go and buy something? Here, see, we are buyers at times and we are sellers at times. We are selling our services, but we do consume things. We do buy, right? So when
Yes.
we buy, there is somebody who is selling me something, correct? Selling us something. So what do you consider when you go to buy something and somebody is selling you? What comes to your mind?
Price, first thing, price.
Okay,
Sometimes happiness, like satisfaction, if I'm satisfied or not.
okay,
And quality,
okay.
sometimes brand name.
Correct. Yeah, you're hitting the bullseye. Actually, you're pointing out very rightly. So that is what I'm going to cover in in pointers. That what all things we should be having in our mind, because the people who are transacting with us, they are also human beings, right? And they
Yes.
also come with this thought process. Correct. So
Yes.
once we understand what's there in their minds, we can do it better, right? And again, as I said, sales is a process. It's a learning. It's a thorough learning experience which eventually happens over a period of time when you keep doing multiple kinds of products and services. You keep selling, so you understand people more. Actually, the experience gives you the understanding of psychology without reading psychology. That is what is important in terms of sales, right?
Mm.
So very right, Ritika, and I'll tell you similar stuff which you have pointed out. So let's start with number one, which is people buy with emotions and then justify with logic. Correct? You might have heard all these things, but again, I'm going to explain you in my way. What happens is, let's say today we are going to buy a dress. For the sake of example, I'm just giving an example, right? We are going to buy a dress. What we understand and what we feel inside is, okay, this dress I'm going to wear in a ceremony, in a function, maybe in a marriage or my birthday, right? So what is there? The primary thing is emotion. We'll feel happy when we wear that kind of a dress, and then we try to justify with logic. Say this dress is worth 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 100 rupees, doesn't matter. But we justify with logic inside our own minds. Nobody asks us. But we justify before buying, okay, this is worth. Oh, okay, this is my birthday. Yeah, I don't buy clothes regularly, but if I'm buying it for a function or my birthday, yeah, this is worth this much I can spend for me to be happy or for me to have this kind of a dress. So we justify with logic, right? So primary emotion is the feel, which I call emotion. People buy with emotions first and then they justify with logic. Make sense? And it happens everywhere. Even if you go to a restaurant, you see, you order food, right? And you pay, you don't bargain there. And you are logically convinced that when I'm coming to such a good place where there is good ambience, right? People will be charging. We pre-frame our minds that these things would be there, right? So we'll be having a big table to sit around and there would be cool music going on, there would be lights and there would be good food, somebody serving us. So those charges are obviously included in the price of the food. Correct? So we justify ourselves with the logic. Maybe you get a plate of rice for 200 bucks or 500 bucks or 100 bucks, but that is already convinced in the mind that this is logically right. Correct? So, first point, people buy with emotions and then with logic. Correct? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the second point, sell the transformation, not the product. Normally what happens is people do this mistake. They start talking about the features and the benefits of the product, right? Let's say you go to a, you know, let's say appliances showroom where you find a washing machine, coolers, TVs, and all those blah blah blah. You go and they'll only talk about the features. Sir, this TV has a resolution of this much. You'll be having big screen. This is the quality of the sound, and blah blah blah. They'll keep talking about the features and the benefits, right? Because they have that kind of a product. But the good salesmen, the people who are literally matured in sales, they don't talk about this. They talk about that transformation and what that transformation would be like. Let's say, sir, you can enjoy this IPL match or the final of the IPL match with your family, and you'll be enjoying it fully because there would be big screen, right? And there would be the quality of sound which will literally stimulate your emotions while watching the match, right? So that kind of a, transformation you need to sell. So we have Sabha as well. Welcome, Sabha. We have just started about the psychology behind sales. So we are at number 2 point where we are talking about transformation. So whenever you talk to people, just try to sell the outcome, not the product, not the benefit. People don't bother actually. People bother what is the end result which they'll be getting. So that transformation, this is what I have shown, the transformation of a caterpillar, that even if somebody is buying something for today, and this happens mostly when you buy a high ticket item. Let's say you're buying a car, a luxury car, or you're buying a penthouse or a koti or a bungalow. What happens is people don't talk about the features and the benefits, like the thickness of the wall is this much, and you have this much of an area. People talk about the experience, right? Sir, this particular house is gonna give you maybe peace, or when you're going to retire, you'll be having a surrounding of good people around you. You'll be having a market nearby, you'll be having a park nearby, and so on and so forth. So they always talk about the next outcome, the future outcome, right? That is what we also need to understand. Correct? Coming to the third point, price. Yeah, Ruchita was saying that definitely we check on the prices. So I'll tell you, there is nothing called expensive or there nothing called cheap price. There is a market for every segment. I always give an example, like in India, let's say for example, India has one big major car manufacturer called Maruti. They're selling at 3 lakhs, starting at 3 lakhs approximately. And on the same Indian roads, you'll be finding cars like Mercedes, BMW, Ferrari. Not Ferrari is lesser, but Audi and all those bigger cars which comes in crores, right? The same roads, everything remains the same. So the price is not the actual thing which people see. People see the value, right? So if somebody is of that category who wants themselves to be put in the high-end category of people, they'll be going for this kind of a premium and luxury cars. rather than going for a smaller car. They can afford both the cars, but they'll not, because they don't see value, and that is a perspective of their mindset and their capabilities, their strength, right? So nothing is cheap, nothing is price high, nothing is too expensive. It depends upon at what stage of buying you are, right? For somebody, even 10 rupees would be a bigger amount. For somebody, even 10 crores would not. Correct? So here, when we are talking about selling something, it's about making the people feel that the price which they are going to pay is going to give maybe 10 times higher value than what they are paying, right? So when somebody understands that the value is more than the price, we pay. Like for the sake of example, I'll give you, I gave you an example of, going in a restaurant, right? What happens is, if you cook that same rice in your own house, let's say that rice comes at 100 rupees per kg, right? You can cook 1 kg of rice for 100 rupees, correct? And the same, 1 kg of rice, if you go and order in the restaurant, that will come for maybe 700, 800 rupees, because of the value which they are adding in terms of services, in terms of giving you ambience, in terms of giving you music and all those things, right? So what is happening is, the price, you are not seeing the price at that time, correct? You are seeing the value, although the material remains the same, correct? So here, whenever we try to sell, or we need to sell, we need to understand that it's not about the price which matters to the people. Yes, there would be people in different categories, I'm not denying that fact. But if you are talking to your right set of audience, and they see that there is a value, they'll not talk about the price. So it's more about the price, it's more about the value which you need to give them, rather than talking about the price. So I don't say price, I always say, in terms of coaching, I always say this is investment. This is an investment to your own learning. If you learn, you can create multiple doors for your own growth, and generating more and more revenue for yourself. So it's not about the price which you are going to invest in somebody or some learnings. Like we spend multiple lakhs of rupees doing engineering, MBA, and other big courses, right? None of the colleges will give you a guarantee, am I right?
Mm.
Even they don't give you a guarantee of you passing or failing, right? And there is another level where people assume that you'll be getting a package after the studies are over. You'll be getting a package from a good company for multiple lakhs or crores, right? But nothing is guaranteed. So what we do is, we invest in our learning with an expectation to gather more or get more post the investment is done. Am I right? So that is the value which even these colleges will show it. What they say that, if you get admission here, your future will be bright. Again, they'll not talk about the 4 years what you're going to do. They'll just talk about after 4 years or 5 years of your completing the course, what your life is gonna be. So you can earn crores of rupees, you can earn multiple lakhs of rupees, you can go to future abroad companies, and so on and so forth. So they always talk about the value which you will be investing. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Good. Let's talk about number 4 point, which is listening. Listening is very important while sales, because if we keep on talking about ourselves, we'll not be able to understand what our audience want, right? And it's more about listening, understanding their requirements. It's not about only selling. If something is not fitting in what your audience is looking for, please don't do that. Don't force them to buy, or don't even talk about selling them something. If, let's say, I go to buy a jacket, and somebody is trying to sell me a pullover, because in winters, every both the things would be helping me to uh, protect me from cold, that's okay. But if I'm looking for a premium quality jacket or something, that kind of a thing, and if the shopkeeper doesn't have, people do mistakes here as well. They try to sell whatever they have, actually, which is not the right approach of selling. Otherwise, what will happen, I'll tell you, that person might buy, if that salesman or the shopkeeper start talking to them and giving them the benefits and features, and the person would definitely, or may buy that kind of a pullover, right? But later on, he'll feel like, this is not what I meant, right? This is not what I wanted. So day after, he'll not come back to the shopkeeper or the shop, and that relation will be totally broken for long term, actually, forever. It has happened with me. Somebody tried to sell me something. I bought because momentarily we take a decision saying, okay, it's okay, fine. But later on, you realize that this is not what you wanted. Correct. So never try to sell, try to understand, listen first what your audience wants, then understand what they have in their mind. Is your product really going to help them? And this is what they're, looking for. If that matches, only then please pursue further, right? So listening is very important. Now, coming to the objection handling, which is one of the critical components of sales. Every person has some objections in their mind, maybe about the price, maybe of the features, benefits, and even timings. Whether should I buy today or tomorrow or maybe after 6 months? So there are a lot of objections everybody comes with. Correct. Now, the better you handle the objections, the more you sell. That is what. So again, this comes with expertise, and there are a few major objections which I cover. Actually, this is again a very broad topic which I brought today. So objection handling in itself is a big topic where you come with an objection. I'll help you come out of the objections or handle the objection wherein you'll be given an opportunity to move forward. Right? Let's say if Ruchita is saying that the price is high, for example, this is one of the most common objection which people have in their minds. The price is high. Now I'll ask you, what is your reference point of telling this is high? What are you comparing with? Right? Let's say you go and buy, chole bhature or a plate of dosa on a roadside dhaba, and you go and sit in a premium restaurant. Maybe the product remains the same, but as I said, so what are you comparing with? Are you comparing with the roadside dhaba, or are you comparing with a multi cuisine restaurant, or are you comparing with a revolving restaurant which is very seldomly found? Correct. So depending upon the point of reference, you can ask this question to your audience if somebody is giving you an objection on prices, right? So there you will be able to know what is there in mind, what they are comparing with. And again, price is not the price. As I said, it has to be the value. What value you're going to get. So these kind of objections are already there. The objection of price, timing, right? Some outcomes. People do have all these kinds of objections. People always say that I need to talk to my family. People say, okay, give me some time. They want to buy time from you. And there are a number of objections which you will be understanding over a period of time. The more you talk to your customers, the more you will be able to understand what kinds of objections they bring. And one good thing I just clicked in my mind, I'll tell you. You remember in your mind, every buyer is a liar. Every buyer is a liar. Even when we are buyers, we also lie. We go to a showroom, let's say, something which we liked or don't like, or maybe fits in our budget or not. Again, the shopkeeper will ask, sir, what happened? You came, you saw, did you like something? Oh, no. We'll take after some time. We do this, we say this, and then we come out of the showroom. Is it or not? We do this. So what are we doing? We are lying. We are lying to the shopkeeper. We are lying to ourselves. So every buyer is a liar, because unless and until they are very firm in the decision of buying with a logical reasoning, as I said, the emotional feeling and the logical reasoning, then only the buying happens, right? If something is very urgent, let's say tomorrow you have a function of your child in your school, and the school has asked you to dress up your child in a particular getup. You'll go buy or rent something today only because you don't have time. Correct. That is an urgent thing which you need to do. So you convince yourself that if I don't do this, my child will feel bad emotionally. And you also feel like my child will lag behind with other students. Correct. So what will you do? You will immediately go and do whatever it takes to get that dress, uniform, whatever it is, and you do it. So what are you doing? You are killing those objections in your mind, because there you don't have an option to wait. So timing again is a big objections which people have. Correct. There are lots of objection things which we can talk about later on, but this is one thing which you need to master slowly and steadily when you're doing sales. Coming to the next point, people don't care about your offer, they care about what it can do for them. As I said, it's not about, let's say I say, Mukesh Ambani is a billionaire, what's in it for me? Is he doing something which can help me? Can I use any of his product or services? If it is, then I'll be happily doing it. Otherwise, doesn't matter. Let's say if I don't use, for the sake of example, Geo, I'm not concerned what Mukesh Ambani is doing, right? So people are concerned about what they can be benefited with. Correct? Number 7, revealing your price to the audience. Normally, I see, I talk about high ticket sales and I talk about, getting into premium segmenting of sales. So here, when we talk about a price, which is an investment actually, after telling the price, don't justify your prices. Normally what happens is, as a day-to-day work, without knowing, we try to justify. Let's say somebody asks me, what is the price of this mobile phone? And I say, so shopkeeper says 10,000 rupees. And even though the buyer is not asking about what are the features and benefits, the shopkeeper starts, or the salesperson starts telling about, justifying about why 10,000 rupees or why 1 lakh rupees. Correct? Here, in this particular coaching sales, when you are talking about high ticket, you don't have to justify. You just have to remain silent and see the reaction of the audience, what they are talking. You see the price and keep yourself mum. Maybe for a minute. Let them think, because at that time their mind starts triggering lots of emotions behind the scene. If you interrupt, those things will be interrupted and you will be losing a sale. Right? So keep yourself silent after talking the price. Now, point number 8. No one wants to walk alone. Highlight your social proof. So, if you are a beginner or if you are somebody who has already done something, show that you have that worth. And nobody will believe you unless and until they see some proof. So, here, even on social media, people want to see multiple testimonials or good things talked about you, because nobody talks bad about them. I cannot talk bad about them. I cannot say I'm bad. But if somebody says that I'm good, the third person has a emotional trigger saying that, okay, that person was like me and they have used their services, so it's good. And we do it even to, even while going to the doctor, we take certain advices, which doctor is the best or which hospital is the best. Or let's say you are going to buy a TV or a mobile, you will be talking to your family or friends here, which brand of mobile should I buy? Right? We do it or not?
Yes.
So here, what is happening? We are taking some social proofs from our friends and families. Similarly, our audience also wants to see some social proofs that you are worth that much. Correct? That is one thing. So you should be showcasing your social proofs of what you have done earlier, how you have helped people. Yes, coming to the point number 9, and again talking about testimonials, keep it real. Keep it real in the sense, whatever, it should not be anonymous. Let that world know whom you are working with, how you are working with. Yes, at times there are in certain, I would say industries like, mental health and other things, people don't try to, showcase their faces. They don't want world to know, right? So in that particular case, you can, blur somebody's face or something, or you can remove the name, that's okay. But you need to showcase the real stories of the transformation which you have given to your audience, right? So testimonial should be real. Don't use fake testimonials. Whatever you have, showcase that only. Don't need to, faking anything. The reality, the originality should be there. That is where your audience gets attracted, right? Point number 10, be vulnerable and show your struggles to the people so that they can relate. Tell me, who in this world doesn't have any struggles in their life or career? Is there anybody who can say that I didn't had any struggle in my career or in my life? Nobody. There are, everybody has different kind of struggles in their own journey. Correct? So you also need to showcase your struggles so that people can relate with you. And unless and until they have an emotional connect with you, they'll not be doing any transaction. Right? So you need to show your struggles so that they can relate to you, saying that, okay, this person was also like me. And if that person has achieved something, why can't I? So that gives you relatability in sales where you do this, things. Now, one more thing I'd like to add here is number 11 point. You don't need to be an expert copywriter. People think like, I have to be a copywriter. I have to keep things scripted, right? So if I have a good scripted thing, I can do a better sales. No, that's not the fact. You don't need to be an expert copywriter, but you need to be an expert, human to understand others' emotions. As simple as that. Correct? You don't need to be an expert in maybe designing. You don't need to be an expert in any tools or ads or other things of business. For sales, we are talking about sales. For sales, you need to be understanding what the person would be thinking in their minds. And that happens over a period of time, slowly and steadily, when you start doing more and more sales, right? So never think like, you are not good at something. The only thing which is required for sales is understanding somebody's mind and thoughts, behavior, psychology, right? Now, 12 is get clear about what your audience wants and fears. Every audience comes with lots of, I told you, prejudice in their minds saying this is bad, this is wrong, this is blah, 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 a lot of things. So you should be clear about what your audience is going through in his minds, what they want, what they don't want, what is stopping them, what is not stopping them, what are the fears in their mind. So if you know your audience well, you can definitely help them, getting them a better decision for whatever things you are buying, you're selling, and they are buying, right? Because this is a long term. Don't try to sell the audience or your prospect immediately. Maybe that person might not be ready at that time. They're fearing a lot. So if somebody is fearing a lot, try to remove the fears rather than try to sell. Mind it, what I'm trying to tell you, right? What people normally do is, if somebody is there in front of them, they assume that this is going to be my customer and they start pushing them hard to buy something, which should not be the case. If somebody is literally fearing of literally even investing, so if the fear is not removed, they're not going to take a decision, right? So your work here is to understand what they want and remove their fears so that they can take a right decision. Actually, the right decision may not be all the time to buy or not buy your product, but the right decision is to remove the fears from their mind, right? Getting it? Number 13 is be specific with your words and numbers. Don't use broad or generic ones. If you're talking to a customer, talk about what they want, talk about what's going in their minds. Let's say if somebody, let's say for the sake of example, if somebody has has come to buy a car of let's say a budget of 10 lakhs rupees, you cannot showcase them a car which is of 30 lakhs of rupees. You cannot increase the budget by 3 times. Yes, you can definitely suggest something which can be 10% extra. So in spite of 10 lakh, if you can help them understanding that there is a better car which can come for 1 lakh additional, they definitely will make a decision based on that, right? So the numbers should be should not be very generic. It should be specific to your audience, right? And it applies to everything. Number 14 is a bad product with good marketing will always outsell a great product with bad marketing. So marketing is one of those oxygens to business. I always talk about this statement. Marketing is this oxygen to any of the business. If you are not investing in marketing, you are not doing anything for your business. Number one. Number two, if you have a product and if you are even a bad product sells with a good marketing, the point is here. And if you have a good product, why not? Right? So marketing plays a very important role because marketing, what does marketing do? I'll tell you in one liner. I have a detailed presentation made on entire marketing philosophies and principles, but here I'm just going to give you a shorter one. So marketing, creates a perception in your mind of that particular product and the brand, as simple as that, which eventually lowers down the fear of buying that product, right? We see ads. What happens when we see an ad on TV? Our mind recognizes that particular brand and we try to again justify whether this product is for us or not. Logically, we try to fit in actually. Logically, we try to fit in that, okay, this product can be used by me, right? So any product needs marketing. Even a bad product can sell very high with a good marketing, and a great product, if you're not marketing well, it will not sell. So ultimately, your business will stop or will not generate more revenue if you're not doing marketing. So that is number point 14. And number 15 is a happy customer is the most powerful form of marketing. So when we are doing sales, again, as I said, marketing is one step before sales, because what marketing does is it creates an impression in your mind to make the decision, or lowers down the fear of being cheated, or other negative things, but it helps you take a right decision at the right time when you go and try to evaluate other products in the market. So a product which have already been seen, heard, and you have known about it has the chance of being sold higher than a product which is not known. Correct? So these were all the 15 points which I have brought. These were all single liners. I just explain it. And now I'm open towards any of the questions which you have. How was the training?
Interesting, meaningful.
Thank you so much.
Actually, I was reading about sales, but this covered something different other than what I was reading.
Yeah, there are lots of books being, written on sales. You can keep on reading and reading and reading. There won't be, you won't feel like, reading all the books all the time, because it's been a subject which has been talked about more than years, 100 years, or even more than that. So there are multiple authors who have written very good books on sales. And again, this is an art, which I say, which you will be eventually
Learning.
developing in yourself, right, over a period of time. You cannot just read books and learn sales. You have to apply it in your lives, right? Good. So any questions? Sabha, do you have any question? If you are there, I'm not sure. Okay. Yes, Sabha, tell me.
Hi, and hello, sir.
Hi, Sabha, tell me.
I want to ask that you have shared the presentation about psychology. I want to ask the question that in psychology, what is the meaning of the term value and the price? And sometimes we have the question of mean, median, and mode. What is this question?
See,
We calculate the statistical data with mean, median, and mode. What is this? And what is the term value and price meaning in psychology term?
correct. I'll tell you. See, uh, as you said, mean, median, mode is a part of statistics, and it's a part of maths, which I'm not going to cover here, right? That you need to learn from some mathematician, or a teacher who teaches you math. Again, that talks about some data where mean is, in general, I'll tell you, mean is the average of the data. Mode is one particular frequency on which the data evolves around. And again, uh, median is again a calculative number which gives you more or less something similar to the average. So I'm not an expert in maths, I'll tell you, but I can talk about the psychology of value and price. Price is the upfront money which we talk about. Correct? Let's say you go to shop and you buy a dress. I just gave an example. So the price for the dress may be 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. Similar kind of a dress, when you buy for your wedding or any function, you spend even 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees or even lakh rupees. What is the difference? The difference is not about the quality of the fabric or quality of the stitching or other embroidery or other things. The differentiator is the value which you see, because that's a lifetime event in which you are going to invest. So that becomes the value. You remember it, you keep it in your wardrobe for years, saying that this was the dress which I wore in my marriage or in some particular function. So that comes with the value. That is the value which we talk about. Price is the upfront money. Did you get that? That is the difference between the price and the value. Sabha, did you get that?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay. So I gave you an example of price versus value. So similar product can have different uh, same prices but different values. As I say, I'll give another example. I'll give you. You buy maybe water bottles, packaged water drinking bottles, right? If you go to a railway station or a bus stop, you might get it at 10 rupees. If you go to a restaurant, you'll be buying it at 20 rupees. Or if you go to a cruise, the same thing will be, sold to you at 50 rupees or 100 rupees. So, that is where the value comes into picture. The price remains the same. The manufacturing cost remains the same. but the money which you are investing because of certain scenarios, that gives you that additional sense of value added to that particular product or service. Make sense?
Sir, I want to ask that what is networking in marketing? Uh, mean if he does a online work, so the purpose in the online work, then no, for which purpose networking is used for the purpose of online for network marketing. It's a branch of marketing, so we use it for online work. So why we use network marketing for online work? Means what is this phrase meaning?
I did not get your question, Shaba. Ruchita, did you get that question?
Network market,
Maybe
network
asking the
marketing, sir.
You are talking about network marketing or networking. There are two other things.
Networking.
So that is
Networking means if a company is from USA and they sign contract from Pakistan company that you hire from your people, family to family, and sell our product, and we will give you commission and bonus, and we will give you training. Means I'm saying fake scam of networking.
No, I'll
Why
tell you. I got your
nowadays?
question. I got your question. You are getting confused in these two terms. I'll tell you. Networking is different and network marketing is different. So, in general terms, networking is meeting and making friends with people. So, you are networking with different people, right? That is called networking when you are making relationship with many people, right? That is called networking. So, what you are doing, you are going to different places, you are meeting different people, and you are making friends with them. That is called networking. And what you talked about is network marketing. If some company is there in some other countries and they are trying to sell their products with a chain of people, that becomes network marketing, right?
Sir, why nowadays we are getting fake scam about networking and networking online work? So how will we detect it is a fake scam? Because nowadays it is an era of fake scamming and fake things also. So how will we get that it is a fake networking message or fake scam from a fake company?
That I cannot comment on. You need to check multiple times because online everything is, I'm not saying everything is happening right or wrong. You need to check before investing or talking to somebody. Get some details, get some documents, see what they have done in the past, how long they have been doing all these things, how many people have been associated with them, and you need to check before that. I cannot comment on any particular company or any particular process till the time I know about it. You need to be 100% sure, right? With whom you are going to work, what are you going to work with, what are their visions, how long they have been into business, all these things. Because if you're doing a business, you need to be sure about all this, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Because in a Muslim country, there are strict laws to do business in our religion.
So
Are you
I
understanding?
yes.
Because in our religion, there are strict policies to do business. We have to take care of the terms according to our Islamic values in business,
So I'm nobody to
and we
comment
have
on
to.
any religion values. See, I'm not here to discuss that. That is a sole discretion
Yes.
of your decision. What you want to do, what you do not want to do. I cannot comment on that. It's your choice. Although correct, everybody is free to do, and there is no restriction nowadays on this online world. It depends upon what value you want, what value do you carry, and that is all together your choice. Nobody can force you to do or not to do. It depends entirely on you, right? Okay, then Sabha, you have any other question?
No, sir.
Good,
No, sir.
good. So anything, Ruchita, you need to ask or all done? Okay, good.
thank you for your time, sir. I am happy for you.
Welcome, welcome. So I have already, made my time available for this 1 hour, and I keep doing. I'll be doing a bigger training. In fact, I'll be announcing that. Keep an eye on my post. You are already connected with me. I'm going to do a bigger training in the times to come. I'm just planning for it, so you'll be notified on what I'm going to do when I'm gonna do. But I keep doing this kind of a trainings. These are the smaller trainings one. But again, in this smaller trainings, you don't get the entire feel of things. But yes, you do learn something, again depending on the time. So the bigger training would be again more than 90 minutes, or it would be around 2 hours, which I'll be carrying forward for one particular subject, which I keep on doing. So I'm happy that you are there, and keep doing the good things. We'll meet again next Saturday, same time on Zoom. And that's it. Thank you so much. Take care. Happy
You can
weekend. Bye bye.
same to you, sir. Bye.